On a snow-dusted Christmas evening when the city seemed wrapped in a hush that only winter can bring, the CEO sat alone at a small cafe table by the window, the glow of twinkling lights reflecting in the untouched glass of water before him, his phone face down, his thoughts louder than the carols drifting in from the street, because success had given him everything except the warmth that mattered tonight. Boardrooms bowed to his decisions. Headlines praised his vision, but the chair across from him remained empty year after year, and as he stared at families passing by with laughter fogging the cold air, he felt the familiar ache settle deeper, the ache he'd learned to outwork but never outgrow, until a tiny shadow paused beside his table and a soft voice, brave and clear, asked, "Do you want to have dinner with us?" And when he looked down, surprised, he met the wide, hopeful eyes of a little girl bundled in a red coat, her cheeks pink from the cold, her knit hat slightly crooked, her hand holding a paper bag with a star drawn in marker, and behind her stood a woman with tired eyes and a gentle smile, uncertainty hovering as she prepared to apologize for the interruption. But something in the girl's fearless kindness disarmed him, and before he could think of titles or schedules or the invisible walls he wore like armor, he heard himself say yes, and that single word cracked open a door he didn't know he'd locked. They walked together through softly falling snow to a modest apartment above a bakery where warmth rushed out to meet them, carrying the scent of soup and bread, and the girl introduced herself with pride, explaining how Christmas dinners were for nobody to be alone, not the neighbor downstairs, not the cat on the fire escape, and definitely not the sad man from the cafe, which made the woman laugh and the CEO feel seen in a way numbers never could. And as they sat at a small table with mismatched plates, the girl chatted about school and reindeer facts while the woman served food apologetically simple yet perfect, and the CEO listened, truly listened, finding himself laughing, asking questions, sharing pieces of his own childhood he hadn't spoken aloud in decades, about Christmases spent with a mother who worked late and a father who promised tomorrow, and the girl leaned in close as if collecting every word for safekeeping, and when dinner ended she insisted they light a candle for wishes, explaining that wishes worked better when shared, so he closed his eyes and wished for something he'd never allowed himself to want, a place to belong, and when he opened them the girl was watching him with a seriousness far older than her years, nodding as if she understood, and in that moment the world felt quieter, kinder, and impossibly full. Hours passed unnoticed as stories flowed, as laughter stitched something broken back together, and when it was time to leave, the girl hugged him with all the certainty of someone who believes good things are meant to be held onto, whispering, "You can come again," and the woman thanked him for accepting, for making the night brighter, but he knew the truth ran the other way, because walking back into the cold, he felt warmer than he had in years, and in the days that followed he couldn't shake the memory of that table, that laughter, that invitation offered without agenda, so he returned, first with desserts, then with groceries, then with time, learning the woman's story of resilience and the girl's dreams of helping others, and slowly, intentionally, he began to rearrange his life, declining meetings to attend school plays, using his influence to support the bakery downstairs, turning lonely success into shared purpose, until one Christmas a year later, the cafe window reflected not one empty chair but many filled with neighbors and friends, and the girl, now a little taller, climbed onto his lap to announce that Christmas dinners were officially forever, and as he looked around at the warmth he once believed was reserved for others, he realized that a single question asked by a child had rewritten his future, proving that the richest invitations are the ones that cost nothing but change everything. And if this story touched your heart, if you believe kindness can interrupt loneliness and love can arrive in unexpected voices, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because more stories like this are waiting to remind us that sometimes all it takes is one brave question to bring us home.